Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a wear test of the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Foundation that I got in the haul video the other day. I'm a little bit nervous. I have just washed my face, no priming, no nothing yet. So I thought I would go in with the hydrating gel cream from Simple, which I've been using for the last couple of weeks and really enjoying. It's not a heavy moisturiser. But it does the job really well. So I thought we'd moisturise first, obviously, because I think this is quite a thick foundation. And then I'm going to go in, pop it on, get myself ready, and then I'm going to go out for the day. I'm going to wear test for about maybe 8 to 10 hours, which I think 8 to 10 hours will give a really good overview of how this foundation wears. Like I say, I've moisturised my face, but I'm only going to prime one half of my face so that we can test what it's like with and without primer, which is something that I've seen a couple of people do. So I'm just going in as usual with the Flawless Original Primer from Barry M, which I've been loving, and just popping that onto half of my face just to see. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous of this foundation, and apologies for the voice, I've got a bit of hay fever going on. So on the prime side, I'm going to go in with my damp beauty blender. Yes, I know guys, it's not actually dirty, it's been washed, but it seems to be stained, so if anyone's got any tips on how to fix that, that'd be awesome. And on the non-primed side, I'm going to go in with this foundation brush, and I'm just going to see kind of what happens throughout the day, etc. Now I have popped out the Pro Revolution highlighting drops. They're not highlighting drops, lightning drops, just to see in case this does turn out to be an awful lot darker than I thought it was going to be. So bear with me. I'm going to go in and we're going to have a go. So I don't even know how... Oh, hello. Now it's coming out quite quickly, so I've just popped kind of that much on. I don't know how much to put on. I don't know how much of this to put on or what it's going to be like. Okay. So far it's definitely, the coverage is good, as you can see. Bear with me. I'm going to just use my mirror so that I can get up close, make sure it's on properly. One of the things I'm already finding is spreading it out isn't as easy as the Maybelline 24 hour that I use. It is giving a very full coverage, but is a little bit it's a little bit shiny, as you can see, and I don't know if that's gonna, when it dries down, it's gonna look better. I almost feel like here I don't have as much on as here. Don't know what to say about that. And I did use what I would use to do kind of most of my face in terms of amount, and I've had to go back in with that beauty blender. So let's just try and do this half of my face. This is so difficult to kind of keep it to one half. Colour wise, considering I was worried about the colour, I'm actually not now. I mean, this is definitely my colour. It's matching really well. I'm just going to go over my ear and come down here and make sure that there's no lines. Now when I tested it on my hand in the video, you may have noticed it oxidised a little bit. I'm not seeing so far any of that here. Just going to go in on my chin, again having to go in with a little bit more. So I don't know whether... The other thing I'm finding, if you squeeze the tube too hard, a whole lot is coming out. So be super careful, obviously, unless you want a whole lot. And normally I would be doing both sides of my face. But nonetheless, it's all in there. We'll tap that all in. Now, my face actually looks lovely. I'm really surprised. When I put that big old glob on my hand the other day, I was really worried that it was going to be really thick, it was going to be really heavy, but it doesn't feel like that on my face. Now then, I'm just going to go in now with the brush on the non-primed side And again, about the same amount. Not going to overdo it, because obviously with the brush it doesn't soak up any of the product. So, wow. Okay, so I'm already finding that really difficult to spread. I think that's where you feel that thickness, is that it doesn't have the ability for me to spread it out. Okay, so here's a tip: don't use a brush. I can already see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but here it's mixing up my face. Yes, I know I don't have any primer on, and that probably isn't helping, but you can see just how flawless it is on there, and then on this side it's actually taking more product to spread this out. And obviously in this lighting it's a little bit difficult, and with my camera, but it just doesn't look as flawless on this side at all. And like I said, that can be down to two things. It could be down to the lack of primer, it could be down to the instrument with which I am putting it on, but I'm actually finding I'm having to use quite a lot to get this to spread out. And also it just looks a little patchy. So if I was going to recommend anything, it would be the Beauty Blender. I would definitely not recommend putting it on with a brush. It just looks super thick and textured on this side. I mean, this looks fine, that just looks super thick and textured. So I'm just going to go and pop some concealer on, and we're going to see how that blends in with, oh, I feel like, I don't know what's going on here, with the foundation. Now in theory, I've been told that the concealer, which is C4, should match this, which is F4. They're supposed to go together. We'll see. I am going to apply both sides with the Beauty Blender, just for ease, and because that's how I would normally do it. And we're just going to see if that moves the foundation round or anything like that. So it has definitely blended in well. It's giving me that kind of look where it's seamless. It's not a highlighted eye. It just blends in. So yes, definitely, but it definitely has a bit of a sheen to it, this foundation. But the concealer definitely does match, which follows that kind of rule. And as you can see, I mean, that side does look flawless. It has that dewy finish, although up close, see on this side up close, it's absolutely lovely. On this side, the lack of primer and everything else, I can just see all the texture in my skin under there, which is not something that I always want to see, but we'll see how it wears throughout the day. So I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to do this eye and my brows off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll contour and highlight. Okay, so there we go, guys. Brows are on, eyes are on. I just went with a little like peach look. I used Tongue Pop and Sweetener from my Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette, just because I absolutely adore that colour. So now I'm going to go over the top with some shade contour from the Makeup Revolution, like lighten shade, the one that's a bit like the Kat Von D, just to see how it wears. Although, as I was off camera doing the brows and things, I've already noticed that my face is feeling a little bit tight, so it definitely has a drying effect. Comes from a couple of things: lack of primer, not using the Beauty Blender to kind of push it in, and that brush giving it that rub that can sometimes also get that drying effect. So I'm just going to go in, put some contour in, and see how it stands up to that. There we go. I'm really loving this kind of contour this week, because it does definitely give that chiseled look. It's a very cool shade. It's quite light, and I didn't think it would work for me because of it being so light, but actually it really has worked, which is a surprise. Okay, so there's that all done, and then I'm just going to go in and highlight a little bit under the eye, just because I feel like it needs it. It's very all the same, and there's just a little yellow powder in here that I think would be great, there we go, for just highlighting that under eye and making it just look that little bit more glam, since we're not kind of going in and baking our face. I don't feel like baking is something that this look needs, just because if I bake I can't tell what's going on under there. I'm going to highlight the bridge of my nose using the world's biggest brush. Not something I intended to do. And a little bit of highlight just here. As I said, this is the only powder that I'm going to be putting on so that I can at least check kind of what's going on here. Just put a little bit on there. I just want to make sure that I give it a fair chance, as it were. In terms of blush, I'm feeling that maybe a peachy blush is the way to go. I'm going to use the Ultimate Blush and Light kit from Makeup Revolution. You'll see that there's a theme going on here. And I'm just going to go in with my big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this peachy, where is it? Oh god, this is such a large palette, this peachy shade here, and just add some peach to my cheeks because I feel like they need it. There we go, a little bit more on the other side. Ooh. Now then, there's something already. So I put this on, it blended out beautifully. I put this on and it kind of just went a bit, let me just look at it. Yeah, it kind of, where I put the brush down, it just got stuck there. Well, we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. And then I just have to make a decision on what to put on my lips. What do you guys think? Okay, so I think I'll go with Charade from Revolution Pro. Again, this isn't something I've tried out, but because it's very peachy shade, I thought why not? We're doing the whole peach look today. Okay. Wow, that is peach. And this is a little out of my comfort zone. It's not the kind of colours that I would normally wear. But I'm trying to start trying things differently, so. And there we go. I am going to go finish getting ready and go out about my day. I will have some check-ins and we will just see kind of what's going on, what it's like, does it work, does it not, do I like it, and we'll see. Okay, well, as per usual, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in a couple of hours, okay? Mwah. Hi guys, just a quick check-in. I've had the foundation on now for about 2 hours, and on the primed side, I don't know if you can see because the light's not great out here, here I'm starting to get the dark circles and it's all kind of breaking down, whereas on this side it's absolutely lovely. I also put some highlighter on and it just clung to these bits, which is kind of exaggerating all the issues. I've also got here, like it's sinking into the lines and it's definitely sinking in there, and this is a 2-hour wear test. It's kind of reminding me of the Kat Von D that is just too dry for my skin, but we will continue, we will see, and I'll check back in a couple of hours. Okay, thank you. Mwah. Okay guys, so here I am with my final check-in. As you can see, I've changed rooms just because there's a bit more light in here and it's super late. Well, it's not super late actually, that's an absolute fib. It's 8:05 and yeah, so what do I think? Well, first of all, let me just tell you, I have had our VR set on for the last half an hour maybe, and you can actually see where the VR set's been here. It's clearly rubbed away this, but then again, I don't know any foundation that would happen to. If we get a little bit close up, you can see that all here my redness is showing through, and there's quite a little bit, that's not a thing, right? Quite a lot of texture My smile lines are there or thereabouts. On my chin here, it feels kind of textured, and again, same on here, maybe not so much. And on my nose, it's only still there. My forehead, excuse the lines from the VR, is okay, but you can actually see, I feel, like where the concealer is, and the rest of it's rubbed off. All in all, it's an okay foundation actually. It's not too heavy. I don't know whether this is something I would purchase again. For the cost, it's not bad. Putting it on with a beauty blender definitely works better than putting it on with a brush. And I feel like on the beauty blender side, I'm definitely still more coverage. Here I've lost quite a lot, and here just seems really thick. Other than that, it's okay. But it does make my skin have that same feeling as the Kat Von D one did. It just feels a bit drying. I think if you have super oily skin, this would be great, although you may have to powder it. But when you've got skin like mine, where it's actually, as soon as you put anything kind of matte on it, it gets dry and flaky, then for me, it's not the wonder coverage that it said it would be. I don't know about the whole full coverage label. I actually feel like this might be more medium coverage, because there were a few little blemishes and things that it didn't cover up. And I think that's about all I can say about it, really. Oh, actually, that's a fib. I did notice, not long after I put it on, I went out, and I happened to answer a phone call. And when I looked down at my phone after the phone call, now bearing in mind that phone call was only maybe 2 minutes max, there was a huge amount of transfer off my foundation onto my phone. That's not something that happens all the time. I don't powder my face regularly. I don't tend to do that whole setting thing with powder, simply just because it doesn't work for me. It just makes me have super dry skin. And I don't usually get that much transfer. There looked like I'd actually taken the brush or the beauty blender and dabbed it all over my phone. So that is one thing that I would suggest is, for me, a downside. On the brighter side of that, the actual oxidation, if you can call it that, worked for me, because clearly I bought a shade that's slightly too light. On that note, I'm going to leave it there. As per usual, thank you so much for watching. I kind of enjoy these wear tests. It's just something a little bit different for me. And I will speak to you all soon. Okay. Mwah.